West Coast greens are how they're tough. Now when they're firm, they're actually a little better. It's when they get soft is when they get more of the foot traffic.
Yeah. I don't know. I know a lot of the private clubs, because the PO is very, like, it grows very easy here.
Yeah.
You have to wash your shoes and everything before you go play. You couldn't get it?
It won't pick it up.
Okay, so it's 126 from the stone, so it's... So it should be 117,
okay.
But that's going to be...
A little into
it's going to be into it quite
across.
a bit. I'm gonna choke up on this 9-iron. See, a revelation that I had with my wedge game recently, Tim, a little bit, was that I noticed that, like, if I had a tweener wedge and I choked up on it,
right,
I noticed that not only did I choke up on it, but then I would swing easy too, so as well. So then I was not only, like, taking yardage off by choking up on it, but I was taking additional yards off by swinging easy.
Kind of double dip it.
So, exactly. So I had to start reminding myself every time I choked up on it, but like, hey, well, now you're choking up on it, still make a manly swing,
yeah.
You know?
That's right.
So this is a 9. I'm going to choke up on it a little. And
I'm about to tighten the screws a little bit.
all right. The home court advantage here.
Home course advantage. Oh, nice swing.
That's looking pretty damn good there,
Don't be too long. All right, so right in between the pine tree and the flag, I think, Brendan.
Mine?
Yeah, that's kind of my target on this.
Last time we played here, and I think I went way long. I'm nervous that I might have gone way long.
You striped it.
Yeah, I'm used to playing for yardage that's somewhere far away from the center of the face. Oh, beautiful swing, Tim.
Sit.
What club was that?
I hit wedge.
Okay. Yeah, I think 9 might have been a little brawny for what I wanted.
I took just a little off a pitching wedge there.
So when we were doing all those, last time you were out here, we were doing all those pitching videos, and a lot of people, the Be Better Golf Short Game scoring sets has been a giant success as far as results from people. I mean, I'm hearing so many things from different golfers about how much they've improved their short games. So much so that people are wondering how they want almost kind of like they want to stretch it out to like the more distance wedges and tweener wedges. What are some of the concepts that are similar in, like, let's say like a 20-yard or 10-yard pitch shot that you might easily incorporate into?
Well, I mean, I still think one of the biggest things that people struggle with in the short...
Wait a second. Hey, bud. The next tee's there if you want that one.
Okay.
Yeah. What were you saying, Tim?
Well, one thing I think that a lot of people struggle with in the short game and with their wedges is in the takeaway, they twist the shaft too much on the way back.
We call that Z motion, right?
Yeah. So the club face opens too much on the way back, which, if you're thinking about putting, well, that'd be more of a right tendency. But if you're talking about wedges, it's adding loft. So then when you add all that loft, it gets really difficult to flight your wedges and control the distance. Yeah. And so it really gets hard to manage that around the greens. And then especially when you start moving further and further out. So the better the player can be at sort of taking the club back and not twisting and not having that twist as they go back, taking it back a little more square, what to a lot of players feels like they're sort of hooding the club, but in all actuality, they're just taking it back square.
All right, I'm over here somewhere. Oh, I got it.
You find it?
Yeah, I'm just really far away. I really misclubbed myself there. So I guess in this situation, Tim, I want to really examine like where I can land this ball, because I can't put too much height on it as far as straight up in the air.
Yeah, I mean, as always, look at the lie first. You got a nice lie. I mean, I know it's a little bit under some pine straw, but the ball is sitting a little bit up in the rough, so you can easily get under this. If you wanted to hit it high, you could. Now you got the tree limbs. So I would say kind of a medium high shot. And then from there, you just need to kind of pick a landing spot that's going to match up.
Yeah, because most times I'll hit
your
this shot and I'll
trajectory.
land it here, and I'll have another very hard chip.
Yeah,
you
that's
know?
what I was going to ask you. If you land it there, will it bounce up, or do you need to carry this ball all the way on the ground?
No, I think I have to carry it all the way.
Okay. And that's
Unfortunately.
the thing, is like, you made a good swing, but you're in trouble. Go ahead and get out of trouble. The worst we need to make here is a 4. Just give your putter a chance to try to save a par for you.
Yep.
Yeah, we can live to fight another day with a single. So
Oh no! No, I've been doing that all the time recently. I'm
Yeah,
putting from the fringe.
yeah, just
But that's like
that strike was too steep for the lie you had.
okay.
Yeah. It came
Yeah,
off
because
high
like
on
when
the
I get
face.
into the rough,
Yeah.
I kind of feel like that a
Yeah.
little too much. But this kind of lie is okay to be more.
Oh yeah, because that ball was sitting down maybe an inch in the rough, but the rough's at least 3 inches. So it was
Oh, so it's sitting up on top of it a little.
So
Okay.
it was still up. I mean, you needed a pretty shallow strike there
Okay.
to kind of match up with that lie. All that being said, you're still on the fringe and you're only 25 feet from the hole, so.
Okay.
Oh, nice roll.
Oh,
Wow.
actually started. It was wobbling so much.
Good putt.
I guess bumpy greens like this is really important to have kind of dead speed around the hole, huh?
Yeah, really have that heavy ball, right?
Opens up the hole a little bit more.
Uh-huh.
All right, Tim for birdie. Beautiful.
All right.
Nice birdie. Yeah, that's definitely a golf there, because that was like twice as good impact as the other 2 wedges I hit.
Yeah.
And twice as bad result score-wise. So.
That's right. I mean, and that's just like we were talking about with that chip shot I hit earlier. It was not, it didn't have anything to do with the execution of the shot or the skill. It was just the anticipation of the shot.
Yeah,
They
for
kinda
like
got
in a
you
different situation,
That's
that would have
right.
been perfect. But you got to line up what you do with
That's right.
the spot you're in. How much on the course stuff do you do with your players as far as like playing and stuff? Are you mostly like in the pitching and chipping area and the putting green?
I really try to spend at least, with players I work with a lot, at
Mm-hmm.
least 50% of our time on the golf course.
Like doing situational stuff or trying
yeah.
to make scores?
Situational stuff.
Okay, great, yeah.
Yeah, throwing balls and up slopes, down slopes, buried in the rough, sitting on top of the rough, things like that. And then we'll do some testing. I'll give them certain games to try to beat, with putting or certain proximity tests in short games or challenges, things like that.
What'd you get here?
Well, I shot 109 and 134. Not sure which one I'm hitting.
Okay, well, our rock over here to the center says 125, so it's probably the 109.
Okay. Yeah, 109 should be about right then.
So 109, wind left to right. I'm ready. No, I don't want to go in front of your birdie.
Oh, that's okay.
Go for it.
What hole is this? 5? 6?
Yep, 5. I think it's just like a yard to the right of the flag.
Yeah, it was right at it. Hopefully it's the right distance. It's a good strike.
All right, after I hit this shot, Tim, I want you to tell me an anecdote. You can change the names to protect the innocent if you want, but tell me a story. Tell me a story about like the biggest transformation short game. Well, maybe somebody that was completely crippled with whatever yips or whatever it was, and then they were able to turn it around. Let me. So I got 109 pitching wedge. Go. Keep fading. I actually like that one, even though I pulled it a little bit.
It's a good strike. Well, I would say this one player that I work with, he was probably a C minus short game. Handicap, probably, you know, just a short game handicap.
Yeah.
He's a pretty good player. I mean, probably he shoots in the mid to upper 70s, but short game handicap, I would say he's probably a 12 to 15. Pretty good ball striker. And what was interesting was the biggest thing that really changed his performance was not as much. Ultimately, it was the way he changed his motion, but it was more about just the concept.
What was his idea?
So his idea was like, when he hit a shot fat, that was the shot that sort of plagued him. When he hit it fat, he thought he needed to be steeper, because he was like, I'm hitting behind it. So he would try to swing more out to in.
Right, he thought he was coming so shallow that it was bottoming out.
Right, and a lot of times players, so basically what he was doing was like he was hitting it fat because he was too steep. Then he was trying to swing steeper, so he would hit closer to the golf ball. And then he sort of built in a two-way miss, where if he hit too close to the ball or too far in front of the ball, he would actually scull it.
Or like flub it, like we're just
or
going
he would
in.
chunk it if he hit behind it,
Yeah.
So really a lot of like his improvement came with conceptual change, which led to a change in his actual motion.
So what was the conceptual change? Just how did you prove it to him? Did you have to show him video of how shallow he was?
We played a little game, and I was like, all right, we're going to play a game, because I knew from the first motion I saw how steep he was. I said, we're just going to play a game.
And you would talk to him, and he said, oh man, I'm so shallow.
Well, he always talked about where he hit the ground rather than the angle he hit the ground.
Okay.
And I said, well, we're going to play a game, and we're going to see how far we can hit behind it on purpose.
Look, like 7 inches from holing that one out before you spun it up again.
It sucked back off the green.
Okay.
But so I was like, we're going to play a game. We're going to see how far we can hit behind it, and still hit a good shot. And so we did that.
So you're kind of proving to him that it's not about where you hit the ground; it's about the angle.
Exactly. I told him, we're going to focus much more about the angle we hit the ground rather than where we hit the ground, and it really transformed his short game. But he would really kind of say now that his short game is probably the biggest strength in his whole game.
All right, hold that one.
I can't believe that ball landed that close and actually came this far back.
Get in.
Oh.
That's good.
You did not break. Not a lot of break there, is there?
Well, Tim, let's go over, because as you were telling your story, sometimes it's like, you ever see the type of grass on a golf course where they've let it grow really long, and then they so the stalks at the base are thick, right? And then they cut it short, so that now you're left with like 3-4 inch grass, but it's got those thick stalks.
Right.
So it's really tough. So that's what I had over here. You can see how it's kind of browned out and like crisscross, like grabby. So it might be so dark we might not even see it. But take a few passes here in this grass, Tim.
Okay.
Just because I played that so poorly, and it's a shot that I thought I knew how to hit.
All right. So if I had this shot, I would make a few swings, just to kind of, and immediately I feel the club being, like grabbed.
Rebounded.
Yeah.
So that's what happened to me and went nowhere.
So the grass is really grabbing the club. It's a little grainy.
Yeah, it's twisting it open,
and it's strong. Like it's very strong. So it's going to need some speed to get through there.
Okay.
And then a lot of times, obviously, when we increase our club head speed, the ball comes out faster, and it goes too far. So I'm going to open the club face just a little bit to slow the golf ball down.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to slow my club head speed down.
Okay.
So I'll go a little bit higher speed.
Yeah.
With a little bit more open face. And I'm not going to say this is like a bunker shot, but I'm planning to hit grass first. But I'm going to keep the club moving through it.
Okay.
And then I'm going to open the face a little bit more and let the loft slow the ball down.
Now, swing direction, you're still swinging pretty straight?
Pretty straight, yeah.
Even though the face is open,
just a smidge to the left.
You're not going to...
Nothing crazy.
Okay. Oh yeah, that was so good. Golly.
So
All right, let me try that. Put that in that same lie you had. That's about it. All right, so because I kept taking my practice swings, I was like sticking, and I was like, well, what am I? All right, so the face is a little open.
Yep, just a touch. 5 or 10 degrees.
And keep the speed up.
Yeah, and keep the speed up. So the club.
Oh, see how I'm? That's just too steep, huh?
Yeah.
With those.
And we'll work over the next few days. You know, you're just getting a little narrow here at the
Gotcha,
top. You know, the
gotcha.
angles are clubs getting kind of close to you. That was better.
Oh, so much better.
Yeah. Yeah, that was definitely a wide. Like there, the club was. I was looking at it right over here. Your right arm, by no means was straight, but it was.
Oh, on those other ones that was narrow like this, and then
yeah.
you're just going straight to,
That's
rather
right.
than
Yeah.
being kind of like
Have a little wider arm.
tick-tock
Like
and-
like a Steve Stricker or whomever you want to say.
Gotcha.
Somebody like that, Luke Donald. 110.
110.
That sound right?
All right, yeah, that sounds right. All right, Tim, we're going to a hole. I think the light's out at this hole and the next tee box. So
So we can tell everybody
Hitting
how
hope
close
here.
we hit it.
what's that?
So we can tell everyone how close we hit it, and they'll never know.
You're right.
But yeah, so pretty stock here. I'm gonna hit a 50 and not swing quite as hard. Maybe take a little bit of spin off of it, where it won't jerk back quite so far, maybe.
Nice shot. Missed that tree by a yard. That could be really good. Lights out hole in one.
That's right.
Would you get 110?
Yeah, it was 110.
Okay. If you haven't played in a while and you really want to get like a good understanding of how far you're hitting your wedges, like do your gapping or whatever, what do you do to do that?
I mean,
Other than just like playing a lot, but
yeah, I mean, you know, if you're in a time crunch, you can find a flat area. We have a nice little wedge area on our driving range where it's really flat, and we have yardage markers every 10 yards. So we
like different color flags out there.
well, they're just these little posts.
Oh,
that
yeah.
are, it's kind of like a little fairway. So you have the left side and the right side. They're about 15 yards wide, and it starts at 30 and then 40 on up to 100 yards.
That's better.
And so you can obviously do that. I still think you learn the most on the golf course. So if you go out and maybe hit 3 different wedge shots on a hole. I tell players a lot, just when you're playing 9 holes, hit 1 extra ball on every hole and give yourself a different yardage. So you start at 40. So you go 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 110, 120, 130.
What are you saying? What do you do?
40 to 130.
Start from the beginning. Like you go out on the course and you do what?
Play 9 holes,
Yeah.
just normal. And then every hole hit 1 extra ball into the green.
Okay, so just play the way you
one extra
would.
wedge shot.
Play the way you would, and then just drop one at like 40 yards.
Yeah, and
then
and
the
you
next
already
hole
have
drop
to-
one at 50.
Yeah, and you already have, and sometimes you can even go a little more random than that, to where every hole you sort of have a second hole. Yeah. And then for those, depending on the player's ability, I guess you'd say, you know, they have a different goal for what they're trying to score. Obviously for the 9 holes, but then for the other 9 wedge shots, kind of see if you can make birdie 3 out of the 9 or something like that. This is really like night
All the
putting.
way to how many yards do you do that? From like 40 yards
40
to one?
40 to 130.
Oh, okay.
Or I guess it'd be 40 to 120. Is that 9? 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, 110,
Okay.
120. Yeah.
Yeah.
40 to 120.
All right, Tim. I'll light you up here and try to make it.
All right, here we go.
Oh, so close. Here, hold this here. What kind of putter do you have?
I have a Scotty Cameron Newport. Right now I'm using the 2.5.
Okay.
It has a little different neck.
So what's
two.
the famous putter that Tiger used for years?
Well, he used a Newport for a long time. He used the Newport 2. The Newport 2 main difference is just it had the L hosel versus the S hosel.
Oh, no
the
wonder.
Flared hosel.
Okay. It's a little brighter. See, I put you on low light, and I get.
Thank you.
Hustle.
Nice putt.
All right, good pars in the dark. There you go. What'd you get?
Nothing. Couldn't get it.
Okay. I'll get it. Oh, we're right here anyway. All right, it's red, so it's gonna be like -5. It's 140 here, so I'd say
35.
135.
135, a little downwind.
Yeah, a little helping. What club do you got here, Tim?
I think I'm gonna go ahead and hit, so it doesn't spin much. I think I'm gonna try to hit a little easy 9. Try to keep it from spinning back off the green.
I'm just gonna copy your club selections because
You've been striping it. You've just been hitting it too far. It's a good problem.